From the NewsChannel 5 network, this is Pharmacist on Call.
Good evening, Nashville, Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, those of you as far west as Jackson, those of you as far east as McMinnville. Welcome to Pharmacist on Call with your host, Dr. Sean Pruitt. And if you're watching this show, I am your community pharmacist. Well, everyone, welcome to 2021. That's right, we're up on a new year, guys, and so it's already shaking out to be pretty interesting. But for you, this is your 1 hour community service where you get to ask any health question you want, whether it's about medication, health condition, certainly COVID-19, which is dominating the headlines, anything you want to ask your pharmacist on call. I did want to get into what we usually do, our birthday shout outs and condolences. So I did want to do some birthdays. We've got my firstborn, my oldest, my daughter, Shauna Lanier Pruitt, who just celebrated her 17th birthday last week. My niece Chelsea, who was born the day after her, and happy birthday to her. And then their cousin Maxwell, who was born the day after Chelsea. So we kind of lined them up right there in the family. So happy birthday to all three of them, and happy birthday to my mother. Her birthday will be at the end of the month there, frequent caller. So look forward to hearing from her. Wanted to wish Founders Day to the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So they'll be celebrating their Founders Days, I believe, coming up in the next few days here. And did want to extend condolences to my big sister, my brother-in-law, on the loss of my nephew, Artie Thomas, who we call Little Artie, who was tragically murdered a little bit before Christmas. So family's reeling from that and want to send her prayers, our prayers and condolences. Well, all right, that's it on the announcements, guys, so we can dig right in. This is your 1 hour forum. This is where you get to ask questions. Certainly wanted to say congratulations to our newly elected president and vice president, and hopefully the country can heal from some of the antics that we're seeing. In fact, we will probably talk about COVID psychosis before it's over, but we've got our first call here. Bob, welcome to Pharmacist on Call. May I help you? Hey, Bob?
Yes.
Yes, sir. How can we help you? What's your question, Bob?
Yes, I wanted to know if there's any adverse effect or positive effect by taking Metamucil Benefiber. Does it enhance or inhibit the absorption of like medicines or just normal food vitamins, etc.?
Yeah, it's probably going to inhibit if it's taken too close. So that's something that you would probably want to, because it's a bulk former, it's a binder. So certainly make sure you separate your medications probably a few hours out from the Metamucil. So I think that is something you should probably be taking like right after your breakfast. Is that usually when you do it?
Very often, yes.
Okay, yeah, and then of course with plenty of fluids, but I would just separate it from your medication. By then it should have digested in your gut and should not affect the absorption of your medication.
So when you say separate, do you mean like an hour or 3 hours, or what would you recommend?
Probably 2 hours.
2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what about just general nutrition in your body, like your B vitamins, etc.?
Yeah, good question. Certainly your B vitamins are going to be good, especially B12. The only way that you can get it is from pretty much meat sources or methylcobalamin if you want to supplement with it. But yeah, for those of you who are vegan, methylcobalamin will be good. Certainly during this season, vitamin C is a good idea, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams of that a day. Vitamin D, in fact, I'll talk about vitamin D and how important it is a little later in the show, but certainly vitamin D, you want to do about 2,000 to 5,000 international units, and plenty of sunlight, guys. Sunlight is underrated, but it's really important just in terms of your mood. So it's good for producing vitamin D. Vitamin D is more than just your immune system. It also affects us up here as well. And then just a good multivitamin too.
So my question again with that is, if I'm supplementing,
yes, sir,
or with meals, should I refrain from eating after taking the fiber supplement?
Yeah.
Or would that affect, or would that actually enhance the food absorptions of the vitamins from the meal.
No. It won't enhance the absorption. Now, you'll get better absorption after your gut is clean. So after the benefiber has done its thing, then your absorption will improve. You follow me? Because then your gut is clean.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
All right, very good call, Bob.
Bye.
All right, thank you. Okay, all right. So yeah, while we're waiting on the next caller to call in, I guess we can talk about vitamin D. And so, as you know, it's part of our solution for COVID-19, which is Dr. Pruitt's potion. And the reason that I put vitamin D in there is because the immune system is heavily dependent on it. It also affects your thyroid gland, and even your mood. And so vitamin D, once it's taken into the body through the sun or through supplementation, it's in the form of 25 hydroxy vitamin D. Okay, looks like we've got another call, but we'll get back to that one there. All right. Thelma, welcome to Pharmacist on Call. May I help you?
Hello, Dr. Pruitt. Are you speaking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, this is Thelma, as you know. How are you this evening?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Great. I'm all right. I wanted to ask if you were going to mention Kwame. Had you forgotten about him?
I did forget to mention him, so I will give him a separate after the break.
Yes, because he was a good mentor for you.
Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to ask, if that CKLS, the instructions say to take 1 or 2 with a meal. If you took it twice a day, would that create too much of a good thing, maybe?
Now we have one person who did do that, and he dropped a bunch of weight on it. But what I suggest is, because it takes a while to work in you, so like in me, it takes about 15 hours. I suggest just taking it once a day after your breakfast.
Once a day after breakfast.
Yeah, now those are the general directions, but I encourage everybody to do like a good initial cleanse with it. So you'll start out with 5 capsules and then work your way down daily. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's kind of that may be a little bit harsh right now, but the 2 seem to be working well. And if I take them that day, by the next morning, I noticed it, and they seem to help a lot of things, not just regularity. They help your mood and your body aches and pain. Well, for me it does. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm very glad you recommended that, and it's going to be part of my regimen from now on. And Dr. Pruitt, I just want to thank you and your brother, for being so strong and stepping up. And you keep on keeping on for the community as you have always done.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All righty.
All right. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah, that's my mother, everyone. All right. So it looks like we've got another call here. We've got Pharmacist on Call. May I help you?
Pharmacist on Call. May I help you?
Okay. That one's gone. All right, Joe.
Yes.
Welcome to Pharmacist on Call.
Calling Dr. Sean Pruitt about this vitamin D you was talking about. I had that problem with the vitamin D deficiency, and they put me on like, yes.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
And they, okay, you listen. They put me on like 50,000 units of vitamin D at one time, and I was wondering, is it any kind of way to get your source of vitamin D without over the counter?
Yeah, so the only other way to get it is through the sun or through meat like bison. It's pretty high in vitamin D, so if you don't want to do the supplementation, you better be a tremendous sunbather. Now, the reason is because the melanin in our skin blocks the absorption of the vitamin D. So African Americans, Africans, whomever, everybody living above the 35th parallel, you're going to be pretty much deficient in vitamin D. And that's just because as you get closer to that equator, you're going to get a lot more sun. So from southern Tennessee on up, so certainly here, we're above that. We don't get enough sun, and so we're going to be chronically deficient. That's why your doctor put you on vitamin D supplementation. Generally, they'll do like 50,000 once a week to get you up in the normal range, and even some people that's still not enough. But yeah, certainly if you don't want to take the supplementation, actually I would suggest you do both. So go ahead and do your vitamin D supplements, but also make sure you're getting plenty of sun during the day as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So
what about? It's one more thing I had to ask you if you got a quick question.
Sure.
What about this? I'm a diabetic too, and you know I'm taking insulin, but I've been told that black common seed oil will help. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, and that is part of what is in my my COVID potion. It's black seed oil, or Nigella sativa is the chemical name for it. Yes, it does help with diabetes and hypertension as well. Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
All right, but I will say this. Still listening?
Yes, I'm still here.
What has really done a number on a lot of our diabetic patients is this. This is what has gotten the fasting blood sugars down and the A1Cs, beetroot juice. So not only does it help diabetes, it also helps your pancreas and blood pressure and a number of things. So this I would probably recommend frontline for diabetes, that and our alkaline water. That is
what's the name of that again?
Beetroot juice.
Okay then, okay, thanks.
Yeah, nature's remedy for diabetes and hypertension. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, everyone, stay right there. We're up on our first break. We'll be right back.